Welcome to Taco About Crypto enthusiasts and foodies. Today we're going to be making our masa. First off, we're going to boil some water and pour over the corn husks to get them pliable so we could use them to roll our tamales here shortly. If you're up to date on the videos, on the tamale videos, you'll know I do use a brisket lard for my red sauce. I'm also going to use it for the masa. So we'll melt down about a cup of lard here. If you find that you're making tamales and your masa sticking to your corn husks or they're drying out, add a little bit more lard to it. Also, I told you to save some of that red sauce. I'm going to mix that in with the lard as well so we can introduce it to our masa mix. That way our masa has a real good rich flavor to it. All right, awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up by adding some baking powder as well as my custom blend of salt, our seasoning salt, and some regular salt, as well as our taco seasoning. Again, we blend that in, mix it up real well. Let that simmer a little bit. Now we'll be ready to move on to the actual masa itself. So we're going to be using a mix. Here, some warm water. It usually goes 4 cups of masa mix to 3 cups of warm water. Perfect. Then we'll be mixing in our seasoning mix and our lard into the dough, kneading it really well. Let's go ahead and pull out our pliable corn husks now. Tip number 1, as far as corn husks go, what we could do is shred some of the husks that are too small to actually be used, make little strings out of them, and you could tie them up on the fold, make them nice and presentable. So as we pull our husks out, what we'll do is we'll lay them on the table here and pat them dry with some paper towels. Now we're ready to get our masa and put it in the husks. About 50% of the way up the husk is where we want to put the masa at. We just spread it over really good into a thin layer, about 1/4 of an inch thick, as evenly as possible. I could probably use a little more lard and a little more water in my masa mix here. And now we are ready to roll them up. So we try to roll them up completely where the masa is completely surrounding the meat mix. And fold the tail over. And use one of our strings that we made from the corn husks earlier. Make them look nice and pretty and presentable for the Christmas family. I won't bore y'all with having to roll all of these. After this, we got the steamer going on the stove, and here's some of the ones we rolled from earlier. Yeah, so the steamer is going to take about 45 minutes. It does vary with your elevation. We're at 8,500 feet, so our boiling temperature is a little bit less. And our evaporation is a little bit more. So we're going to add a little bit more water. And then here's our final product. It does pull nicely away from the husk. Looks nice and moist and exceptionally hot. Merry Christmas, everybody. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more from Taco About Crypto.